And we are live. Welcome, everybody, to episode 23. This is going to be a great episode tonight. All the episodes are great, but tonight it's extra special because we have my good buddy Jordan and his wife Melissa from the Florida Homestead joining us to talk about their homesteading journey and all the great things they're doing at their property. We also have my good buddy Sam in the house. He's going to help out with the panel tonight on the show. Most likely, we will not see any of the regular guys like Brendan or Aaron. Those guys are all busy with other things and family stuff, so we're just going to have to hold it down without them. But a little cool announcement out there. I was checking our subscriber count, and as about 10 minutes ago, we were at 99. Looking to get to that 100. So please, after tonight's show, share to all your friends, anyone that might possibly be interested. Encourage them to subscribe. And that special prize for being that 100 subscriber is thank you. We are not big enough to have any giveaways or swag at this point, but you'll get a big thank you, and I'll give you a shout out. All right. So tonight, we'll start off with Jordan and Melissa, and they're going to tell us about their journey, how they got into emergency preparedness, into homesteading, and we will go from there. So, Jordan, take it away.
I like to refer to myself as a COVID cropper. I got into prepping in particular in the COVID era, after the COVID era, after that madness, and I realized not nearly as self-sufficient or prepared as I'd like to be in case there was any kind of crazy disaster emergency. Along with that, during that time, we had our first son, Miles, in August of 2020. So with the over-looming despair of the COVID era and having a newborn son to look over and protect, I wanted to just be a little bit better, be a little more connected to skills, especially skills that we just don't value anymore, based out of convenience. So it really shotgunned me into just learning as much as I could about what to do, how to survive, what's needed, what resources are needed, nutrition, water, all that kind of stuff. Coincidentally, my wife here, she's more into she's more into the homestead aspect of it. She's got an agricultural background, so we kind of have a little bit different approaches, but I don't think that's necessarily a problem. You know, me being the husband and the father is more geared toward protection and all that stuff, and she's more toward nurturing anyway. So fits in both of our roles as it goes. So it's a little bit about me and her. She comes from a museum. Go ahead.
Yeah. I would say I'm not really from an agricultural background per se. It's more history with an agriculture spin. I was a museum curator for 10 years.
Wow.
Or over a decade. Actually over a decade. And our museum focused on the history of agriculture in Florida. So I learned a lot through that. And that's when I really started getting into like gardening and planting things. And I wanted chickens, but we never lived somewhere where we could have chickens till now. And actually, I don't even do the work for the chickens, so thanks. They're really his ladies now, yeah. But I'm thankful for them.
Yeah, COVID cropper and homestead husband.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
is terminology going around online. So.
You know, I really love your guys' story and stuff. You know, we've all met in person, you know, at different activities and everything. But it's not as common as I would like, where both the husband and the wife are interested in their particular aspects of homesteading or emergency preparedness. So it's great that you guys have that, and, you know, what your backgrounds are, and then you bring it to the table. And then a lot of it is just learning by doing, and, you know, reaching out and connecting with people and seeing what works and what doesn't. A lot of trial by error, which I think really keeps a lot of people from doing it, because they don't understand that failure equals success.
Yep.
Okay. Some people, if they don't try, then they won't fail, and then it keeps their ego intact. But I mean, that's where you learn everything, is by your failures. You learn more by failure than by success. So it's great to see that you guys do it, and you're doing it together as a family. You know,
and that's a great point, because especially in my generation, the millennial generation, we really look at, failure as some kind of taboo or something. I consider myself probably the oldest millennial on the planet. I really identify more with like Gen X or even boomers at this point, because I don't like to do anything that I'm good at. It's too easy. I'd rather go out there and try to do something that I've never done before and just try to figure it out. I don't mind failing. I don't know what I was doing with chickens. I still am learning right now. So I think it's great. I love it. I love challenges. Keeps me going. So
yeah. Well, one of the motivations for when I started this, whole thing, two guys making tribe, and brought Brendan in the mix, because I'm Gen X and Brendan is millennial, Gen Y. And the Gen Xers are kind of in that mentor, we're in our late 40s, early 50s. We're that generation where we're getting closer to retirement, but not close enough. And, we have the wisdom that we can share. Most of us have matured by now, guys, we mature much later than the ladies. But as much as we know, we make fun of Gen Y or the millennials and vice versa. And I wanted to bridge the gap between the two generations, because no matter how you slice it, okay, the millennials are a large component of our society, and so is Gen X. And as a society, Gen Xers got to share with the millennials what we know, and bring you guys into the fold, into society, and try to get along and help us all prosper, help each other up. So, and then you guys will do the same thing for Gen Z and Gen Alpha after we do that for you guys. So Sam, what are your thoughts on what we've talked about so far?
Well, let's see. I got a question for him. One of the things that, because y'all are, you have a background with a museum and plants, and then COVID inspired you to do the Homestead thing, right? So I saw on here that a lot of the people in our group are drawn toward just good, clean food. That was a motivation that brought a lot of the people together on our group. They're worried about, what's going into the food, what they're putting into the meat, what they're putting into the chickens. And that was a big push for a lot of people in our group. And I was wondering if that also inspired y'all.
Oh, that was a fun byproduct of this journey. Let me tell you, to the point of where we make all of our food. Well, I'm sorry. She makes all the food from scratch. I am a terrible cook, make my eggs and stuff, but we make all of our food from scratch. We try our best to not eat any poisons. It's very expensive and it's very time consuming. But just by doing that, I dropped 85 pounds in a year. And let me tell you, I've never eaten so much butter and fat and eggs in my life. And I still dropped 85 pounds. So that should tell you that there is a lot of crazy chemicals in your food. And there's everything that we know about how fat loss works. Kind of a bad spin. I'm not going to say it's a lie, but it's not necessarily correct. I think it's definitely more the chemicals. You see a lot of that with the Maha movement, they're right. I mean, when you start seeing, why is this colored yellow? Oh, it's like asphalt tar. Why would they need to put that in there? When you start reading that, like, your Oreos have 28 different chemicals in there, and then you look back at like Oreos from the 90s and there was only like 8 or whatever, you ask yourself why is that stuff in there, and a lot of the theories are that a lot of the tobacco tycoons kind of came over to the food industry, and their whole stick is kind of getting you addicted to cigarettes, and now they're kind of in charge of a lot of the food. So And if you think about it from a logical standpoint, you know, you can't make a lot of money off of just selling junk food every once in a while. Even though they tell you, oh, we eat junk food every once in a while. I don't think McDonald's will be in business if every family's only going once a month or whatever. So you kind of notice that, you know, the capitalism part doesn't really go together. So the nutrition was definitely a big benefit for us, especially with having the kids. I mean, that's a whole other topic in itself. Just kids' nutrition, seeing all these things pop up, like, you know, ADHD and all kind of stuff, and even just allergies. I noticed, like, man, my son has a lot of allergies, and I don't remember being so allergic all the time as a kid. I remember going outside and drinking hose water and all that stuff, and I just kind of noticed that stuff too. So he's been more on a clean diet. It seems to have been better, and I think that if you can definitely improve your nutrition, I think that you will really begin to feel a lot better. A lot of issues will clear up. And I think it's definitely a great direction to go. So if you don't want to do a homestead or try to, you know, do any kind of, self-sufficiency activities for even the prepper aspect of it, doing it for the nutrition aspect is also a great motivator. And the homesteading is just, I mean, like, you get so many benefits from it. It's a lot of work. I'm not going to lie to you. It is a lot of work, but you feel great. You feel better. You lose weight if you're into losing weight. I went to the doctor. Like I said, we eat lots of butter, and my blood pressure is, like, I think I got it checked. It was 110/72. Glucose levels are under 100. Everything's, like, great. So they do say my cholesterol is kind of high, but that, you know, I don't know if they even know about cholesterol. I don't know how many times I've heard eggs are good, eggs are bad, eggs are good, eggs are bad.
Yeah, they keep moving the goalposts. Well, you know, to add on to your point about stuff that's in the food that we eat, I think it's a combination of, one, there's such a focus on preservatives because they want to make the product sit on a shelf or be transported and not go away. So they use chemicals for that. So if they didn't, I mean, I could bake bread here and it might last 3-4 days before it gets moldy. But that loaf of bread that I buy from Publix, it'll sit there for 2 weeks before it gets moldy.
Yep.
And then I think there is, to a smaller extent, there's byproducts from different chemicals that they use, and they're all chasing, you know, a solution. How do we use this? We've seen this experience in the meat processing, you know, places. You know, first it went into little products that we, you know, grind it into hamburger meat, or let's put it into dog food or cat food or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So, and you would think that with so much emphasis by the millennial generation, where they want clean eating, and there's such a focus on, I'm gluten intolerant, I want to be vegan, or I have, you know, allergies or whatever, all the things that you just mentioned, that they'd be more in tuned into growing their own food. But I think because of their age, and like when we're young, we just want to live our life. They just want to be able to go to Whole Foods and buy all the clean food without having to go through the process of trying to grow it.
Right.
But I do have hope that the millennial generation is going to get into homesteading in some way, some fashion.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I actually have seen a lot of that. My wife can tell you, she spends more times in the threads and in the threads online, and seeing just the amount of sourdough running around the internet is kind of crazy. So
yeah,
that's where I would tell any millennial, if they're looking to start with making your own bread. Just make your own bread and only eat your own bread for like a month, and then tell me how you feel. You know, and I know some of the barriers, especially for millennials. Cost is a huge barrier. I think cost, even more than convenience, is probably the number one barrier, because, like I said, this is not cheap. We got to a point when we were buying eggs. I mean, we did chickens because we were spending, I don't know, $100, $120 in egg products a week or a month. Wow. So it was cheaper at that point just to do chickens. I mean, you know, with baking and eggs and all that stuff. Now, I'll be honest, the costs are about about the same, around maybe $80 to $100 a feed if you include your labor and all that stuff. But the benefit to that is we get about 3 times as many eggs. So I think we've got 14 chickens, so we're cracking around. They just started laying, so we're getting about 7 right now during the cold season, but we'll be up to about 10 to 12 eggs a day.
Wow.
So
that is awesome. Yeah, well, the benefits now, I mean, you're getting all that production, but you know where your food came from. It's clean, and you have redundancy when, for whatever reason, egg prices go up, because ever since COVID, they go up and they come down. They go up and they come down.
Yeah. Sometimes artificially, and sometimes, from the market. Sometimes there's necessity issues. So,
I'm always curious with my friends that raise chickens. It's like some like to try to free range them if they can to keep their feed costs down. Some people feed them scraps from the kitchen and what have you. I think that's important when people are raising animals, no matter what they are, is that you get as close as possible to be able to either grow the food for them or let them eat off the land.
Right.
Because when inflation or restrictions come into play, like we had in COVID and post-COVID, if you can't feed your animals, they're not going to be able to provide anything. And chickens in particular are reproductive, so they're providing eggs every day. Yep. It's not like, oh, well, I'll just kill the animals and eat them, but then you got nothing else that's producing.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that's like our next goal is to not be as reliant on the feed store, because essentially you're just trading the grocery store for the feed store. As some homesteader couple says, I think they're called the Daughtries. I don't know. They're really big on like cows. So I haven't gotten into this particular couple as much, but they talk a lot about growing your own feed. And so that's kind of our next step, is kind of seeing, I mean, we have an acre basically of land we can use on our property. So it's how much can we grow? How can we stretch the feed store feed? And all that kind of thing. So I think, you're always kind of going into the next step with it too. We took the step of just getting the chickens and figuring out how to, keep them alive as people who are basically, city kids. We didn't grow up with this kind of thing.
Nope.
So, I mean, I barely had a dog growing up, so, yeah. So I feel like that's, it's like, don't let that, what is that? The phrase of like the perfect, or don't try to like do it all at one time, or take the first step kind of thing.
Just take the first step.
Yeah.
Because.
And then you can kind of figure out the other ways of like how to reduce your dependence on, your exterior, like feed store or whatever. Like, I mean, it translates into our own pantry as well, with cooking from scratch. I bulk buy a lot, which kind of, I wouldn't say I'm the prepper in the relationship, but the pantry is prepared. Because I don't like really going to the store a whole lot. Yeah. I also I use Azure Standard a lot for certain bulk items as well. So like we buy like 50 pounds of flour at a time. It lasts us about 6 months. So I'm not having to like buy it all the time. And some there's other products as well that we can store here. Now it's not going to last forever, but 6 months or so is about how long you want to have flour anyway. So that gets me, 50 pounds gets me through about 6 months with pretty heavy baking. So
it's definitely more of a rotating pantry. We've got enough in there for a while, and of course, I have closets of food and 10-year Mylar, but I've got all that stuff still backed away too.
Food, though.
No, it's not. But hey, look, food is food. So
when I first got into researching homesteading, I mean, I don't have a homestead, but a working pantry was something that captivated me. And I noticed a lot of the really good YouTubers were people that had big families. So it was a natural progression for them. Buy in bulk, any kind of preservation, and just build their pantry to tap into throughout the year. A lot of them tended to have very handy husbands. Okay, so they can build them all their shelves, and they had because a lot of them were kind of rural. they had space that they can build out their pantry, or the husband can build a little shed right next to it and air condition it, and everyone just had different solutions. Or people that are in the Midwest or up north that have basements, which we don't have here in Florida. So everyone's circumstance is going to be different. But just because someone doesn't have, a big family doesn't mean they can't, put food back. It just might be a little bit more economical if they pair up with some other people that are in a similar situation. And they can buy in bulk and do the batch processing and stuff. So, which brings me to my next question would be, what kind of food preservation do you guys like to do? Canning, dry goods, wet goods, whatever.
Connoisseurs, really, we do it all. I will tell you, pressure canning.
I'll let pressure can just. I mean, I pressure can broth pretty regularly because we eat a lot of chicken, and I save bones to make broth, and I like to always have broth. So, pressure canning the chicken broth and pressure canning. I get lots of dry beans, and then I'll pressure can the beans so that way they're easy to use. Because that's part of it too. Is like we have 2 kids. And one's a baby who requires a lot of attention. So anything to like make it easier and quicker. I used some of the beans today for dinner, actually. So we're pressure canning beans and soup and that kind of thing. So this is the final. So. Yeah, I mean, and then I buy canned goods that I'm not gonna like pressure can. I'm not gonna can corn. We don't grow corn. You can't buy dried corn and can, like, it's whatever. I'm gonna buy some canned corn. I'm gonna have it in my pantry, right?
Yeah.
I'm also like big on the freezer, it's an excellent thing. We have, our fridge freezer, then a deep freezer, which is full. But, all the bread I make, but like we don't eat it, it starts to go bad. We don't eat it or whatever. It starts to go stale. And, I throw that in there, and I've got breadcrumbs. I've got croutons. I've got stuff. So I'm all about, freezers,
yeah,
pantries, and that kind of thing.
Yeah. From the homestead aspect, that really helps with the freezer. And then from the prepared side, it's like, well, what happens when you don't have power for that? So I always work on some backup power sources, generators. We have propane stuff here. We are kind of in a unique position as well. We're very blessed. We were able to build this house. So we built this house. We just moved in 7 months ago.
Yeah.
I'm a mechanical contractor by trade. So obviously I did the air conditioning stuff on here, but we were able to do some of the things that I thought, okay, this will be more useful. So we have gas here. We have gas lines. I have one going outside right to the back patio there. So we can hook up a propane generator, all that stuff. So
awesome.
Those are the kind of things that I was thinking about.
Yeah. The laundry room got ditched out to the garage and is my pantry. So that was my thing.
Yeah, it's a full walk-in.
Full walk-in pantry.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, you guys were lucky that you guys already were in this space before you built your house, so you can build that right in versus trying to do a conversion and what have you.
Yeah.
I love my chest freezer. I encourage everyone to get a chest freezer, like a 10 and 10.4, 10.5 cubic feet. I think that's a great size. I mean, you could put lots of meat in there. You can put breads, all kinds of different frozen goods. But you make a good point about, hey, what do you do if the power goes out? You got to have at least a generator. I like dual fuel propane. Propane can sit forever. It's not that dangerous to store, especially if you have a property. You can just build a little grate shed out there and store it. And then you don't got to worry about your freezer. Even if you sat there and only ran it during the day, like I'm a big proponent, run your generator during the day, but not at night. So you kind of can keep an eye on it. Right. But you can keep bottles of, or even gallon size freezer bags, fill them up with water, make sure they're flat. And so that'll hold your freezer overnight until you kick on your generator the next day. So, or you can do solar with solar, batteries. But if you want inexpensive, jugs of water or the Glad bags, and just do a little bit with the generator. I mean, what do you guys do for your? Well, so you have a propane generator, so all right.
We have, yeah. So I have one of those EcoFlows as well. I wanted to try to figure out, and this is something I need help with, to figure out maybe if we can run a freezer like you said at night, because you want to be able to keep an eye on it. But I was thinking also more in security purposes, and I want a loud generator running if people are looking for resources at night. So I was thinking, maybe I could figure out an EcoFlow that would be able to work at night and then solar charge by day if that was an option.
I'm your guy. I have all kinds of gear. I've been researching this stuff for a long time. So we can chat offline, and I'll show you some situations what'll work out for you, and you'll be good to go.
Oh yeah, that'd be great, because I love, 2 is 1, 1 is none. So in addition to, dual fuel generators, I have a smaller EcoFlow system here. But we're very blessed, because not only do we have 1.3 acres here, next door is my parents. They have an acre next door.
Oh.
So not only do we can share the land. They're not into it like I am. So, but in a pinch they'll figure it out.
Yeah, you got room for expansion.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And the reason that we actually did that is part of being able to be next door is just so that the kids can grow up next to their parents. I think I think that we're headed for a new, I guess it's actually old, but a new old way of living where it's going to be intergenerational. I don't know if Gen Z, Gen Alpha are going to be able to afford homes. I don't know how that market's going to look. So I fully intend to pass this house on to the kids, maybe build a house out back. Maybe I'll sleep in the chicken coop when the wife gets mad at me or something, But I fully believe in the intergenerational thing is going to be very important. So I definitely want to have family around, especially for my young sons, to be near their grandparents. So they literally get to go next door and just hang out and come back over. And he's 5 years old. He just gets to wander. It's a very fortunate situation for us. A lot of hard work, still a lot of tension because you're next door to your parents. But it's good. It's definitely been more beneficial. So. So one aspect I would say for resources that we have them. He has generators too. So between us we've got four generators plus so we have redundancies there, a lot of gas, a lot of propane. Sharing resources is the best resource you can have, is sharing it with just people. So especially in the communities that we're trying to build, that's super important.
Oh yeah, absolutely. My dad lives with me as well, and my daughters love having their papa around. It makes so much of a difference for the young people. The Gen Xers, we would make fun of millennials saying, "Oh, they're living in their mom's basement and they never move out." And a lot of them, did and do and stuff like that. But I like the idea of the younger generations being closer to home. It takes a lot of the financial stress off of them to let them make better choices to pursue proper careers or to mature more in life. So having all these crazy rents and unaffordable mortgages and stuff like that for the younger generation, there is some bright side to it in a sense. Now, that caveat there is that, the parents and the children also have to have a functional relationship. Yeah. And, the younger generation's got to realize, okay, well, I can't go out and make that money, or I can't afford that rent, but they can't stay at home and just party like a rock star. Most parents would sit there and be totally okay with their kids staying at home as adults if they were stacking that cash. They were managing their money properly. Yeah. And not fulfilling the stereotype that, say, Gen Xers, maybe some of the younger baby boomers have, that they just want to live their best life, and that's eating $10 avocado toasts and $8 waters, and just not saving money and not doing productive things in their life. So the expectations, my point being, the expectations have to be reset, not only for the parents but also for the young adult children, to make those things work.
I totally agree. And I'll tell you what, if you want avocado toast here at the Florida Homestead, my son's going to go outside and he's going to pick the avocado off the tree, and then he's going to bake a loaf of bread, and he's going to make some avocado toast from scratch. So I don't have a problem with avocado toast. It's a lot of work. It's going to take you about 2 hours.
I think we have the makings of an activity at your house. My daughters all love it.
Yeah, I wish we had the trees. They're still young. Like I said, we've only been here for about 9 months, so we planted mulberry trees, banana trees, all that stuff. But it's going to take a couple of years. Trees are, man, it takes years for trees to grow. But by the time they're ready to eat avocado toast, they'll be able to go outside and do that. So,
Sam and Cindy are such a great resource. And Sam, why don't you chime in? Because didn't you guys do some tree work recently? Didn't you plant a bunch of trees at Cindy's property?
Oh yeah, I've gone tree crazy. In fact, it's funny. A couple of times we've gone to the nurseries, and we'll find some trees that we like, and we'll get home and we're all excited. And then a couple of days later, I'll go to putting them in the ground, and we're like, "What kind of tree did we buy?" But yeah, we're planting a lot of trees. We've got an acre there too, and we're trying to be totally self-sufficient. And so we've got a garden, we've got a food forest, and we have variations of the two concepts going all over the property. And I'm putting trees all in between all of these things, so there'll be food and shade everywhere you look. I've got a bunch of questions because y'all were going there like crazy, and I started writing all this down. One of the things you said about the chickens and the feed and the cost and everything, we befriended a local produce market, and they allow us to come get their scraps. And so a couple times a week we go over, and they're just going to throw it out anyway. And you get all these fruits and vegetables, and cut up scraps, and you get them for free. And while I'm there, I'll make a purchase, do them a solid, and we go home with big bags full of food scraps for the chickens. And it's a win-win. So I would encourage you to befriend a local market, or come to Wesley Chapel. We'll introduce you to one. Sourdough, you were mentioning that earlier. We had a sourdough workshop a couple months ago, and I knew nothing about it, and probably still don't know enough to fill a thimble, but it was a lot of fun. Which gets back to one of the things you said earlier about the cost of all this and the work. At my age, you can't put a price on health. So everything that you're doing is going to pay off in spades. Trust me. I would encourage that. And I know there's a lot of work involved and there's a lot of cost, but it is the way. It absolutely is the way to go. One other thing, like Dominic mentioned earlier, that both of y'all are on board. It's been my experience as well that a lot of people don't have their spouse on board with these things. Mm-hmm. And so y'all are truly blessed to be able to both get in there and have that game plan and to be on the same page. And I really like that. And I love videos. I was watching your videos that you had posted, and you got your son out there with his hands in the dirt, and he's having a good time helping out. And that to me is golden. Yeah. I mean, absolutely golden. That's one way to pass it on to the kids and keep it in the family. That to me is very inspiring. So much of what we do in our group is focused on everybody, not just ourselves, but we want to teach the young people how to do these things and pass it on and make it generational. And when I see that with your son out there like that, that really, and I like the music you'll add into the videos too. Y'all have a nice touch when you do your videos. So I'm a little bit into it.
Instructions that the child needs.
Anyway, that's all I got for now, but I'll have some more questions in a minute.
Yeah, well, we really appreciate that. I mean, I know there's a lot of different reasons to get into a homestead. Another one of them too, and I will concede that I did a little bit of gardening before 2020, just a little bit. You know, we got married.
Well, because I like gardening.
Yeah, and then
I like gardening.
and I was like, I don't want to do all that. And then I went out there and I just started watering them and watching them grow. And there's a certain sense of peace you get, believe it or not. It's really related. Lowers your blood pressure somehow. I don't know. It's just seeing the stuff grow, and it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of failures, a lot of dying. But it's really good. It's really something good about it, like good for the soul. Just growing anything, and it doesn't have to be a full, 20 acres of stuff. It could just be a couple earth boxes and some pots and grow a tomato plant and just be like, hey, I grew this tomato, put it on your sandwich and be like, man, I eat this. This tastes good. I made this. I made part of the sandwich. And there's something about it that makes that sandwich taste just a little better. So I wholeheartedly encourage, especially millennials and Gen Z and the young guys and gals to just really try to embrace a little bit of putting your own sweat into it and trying it out. And don't be afraid to fail. Mm-hmm. Just start super small. There's 1,000 videos on YouTube about making sourdough. There's 1,000 videos about growing stuff, and fail at it, do it, fail at it, and then eventually you'll get good at it and you'll kind of figure it out.
Also, the internet makes things more complicated.
That's true.
Than it really is.
It's true.
Like sourdough, I kind of have a really relaxed approach to it. Like my last loaf, I got overproofed. Oh well, it's still edible. There's like comments about compost, which we compost as well. We don't do anything. We turn it. I have a thermometer. Never stuck it in there. Doesn't matter. It'll all decompose eventually. So it's like, none of it is as complicated as the internet and all the information we have can make it. Yeah. Just
and you got to remember too,
some stuff out there, figure it out.
Yeah, the internet likes to post all the look how beautiful these tomatoes and this everything looks and how great it is, but they don't show you the other 40-50% of them that just got eaten by some tomato worm or some bird at it. Like I was saying in the pre-show, we have killed strawberries for 6 years now. It's crazy, and we live in Plant City, which is the strawberry capital of the world. And we just kill all the strawberries every time, and I just like figure it out.
It's particularly rough on me because they were starting to grow, and then they got overwatered. They were overwatered.
Yep, they got overwatered. So
everything else in the garden was fine with the water, not those. They need their things.
Small tip: keep the strawberries separate. Yeah, just keep them separate in a pot or an earth box or something separate, and just hand water them and keep them protected.
At least for us, that's what
for us. Yeah, everything else, like we have set on water timers and stuff, and everything's just shooting out of the ground. We just had some cucumbers with our soup yesterday that we grew. Big old cucumbers, and Miles is out there picking and eating them. So I mean, just please, anybody that's like nervous about doing it or afraid to fail, just go out there and do it. Expect to fail. Who cares? You're at your house, like growing stuff. You'll fail, then you won't, and then it'll be great. So
people just got to embrace it. Especially guys. Most of us grew up playing some kind of sport, and the first time we're tossing a football or a baseball, we're dropping it.
Yep.
Trying to get those catches, boom, we just drop it. But that doesn't stop most of us. We just know we just got to keep practicing until you make that one catch. Then you got that confidence, and you just get that one plant that produces a little bit of fruit, and you're like, yes. And then you just change it up for next year. All right, so let's jump into some comments here. Let's see. What did JC Croc?
That's Cindy.
That's Cindy. All right. Don't forget the chickens make the compost with the produce scraps, Sam. So that note was for Sam. You're failing, Sam.
Yes, I failed to mention that.
Yeah. So
we clean out our bedding. We clean out our bedding with the chicken poop and put it into the compost bin and turn it. And yep, absolutely. Our compost is definitely our best, I would say, crop here. And I don't know, it just turns into rich black gold. And we're like, oh, this is great. And we just, and it's only been 7 months. Compost is real easy. Just turn it and water it and throw your stuff in there.
You know, what's funny about this comment is that normally when Sam is on, Sydney is in the background. And she would just make that comment to him, you know? Oh, gosh. All right, let's see. Let's try another one here. And, all right. Are there any nurseries or gardening centers that you like more than others?
We tried a few around the area. Like, we're still pretty new to the area. I will say we have a nursery that we kind of actually go south to visit down in the Palmetto Parish. Yeah.
It's Sweet Bay Nursery in Parish. It's a native plant nursery, so they have some edibles, but not really. It's really for the native plants.
Yeah.
In the Tampa area, though, I did just get some stuff from Whitwam Organics. They're kind of like you order online and swing by and pick it up place. So, but other than that, like I've been ordering seeds. So like I order seeds from Baker Creek.
Heirloom seeds.
Botanical Interest has some good ones. I recently got some from So Right Seeds. There's a Florida, I think it's called the Florida Seeds that I've ordered seeds from, and they're obviously in Florida, so they have good varieties for here. There's another one in Florida I haven't ordered seeds from yet, but she's in St. Pete called the Urban Harvest, and she's got a lot of like heirloom type seeds as well. So I mainly order seeds, and then we've been getting our we've had to get dirt and stuff we've gotten it from Big Earth, which is there's a bunch of locations in the area.
Yeah. What they typically do though, you buy it by the yard, like you buy it by the truck full, so they'll dump it all to the back of your truck. So if you don't have the space capacity to go, put it in the back of your bed and dump it by the cubic yard, Home Depot, Lowe's has Black Cow. Black Cow has been fantastic. I mean, so.
But he went to a nursery recently that we found on like Facebook Marketplace of all places. Like the guy was advertising. So like, you just look around and then you'll get a feel for pricing and kind of what's reasonable.
Yeah, we got moringa and some blackberry bushes and blueberry, all that kind of stuff. We got a bunch of stuff from there. So, Barbados cherries. So, but yeah, those are some of the favorites. A lot of ours is honestly from seeds and growing them in the garage with the light and spritzing them till they become plugs and then sticking them out there. So
we're about half die and then start over.
Yeah, didn't half our onions die and then we retried them and
none of the onions worked and then I bought new seeds
and then
I think my seeds are old.
Yep.
And those seeds have come out.
The seeds are an important aspect, but we've had many discussions on different podcasts about the seeds, and you get a lot of people that will buy seed packs from Amazon, and you don't know how effective they are. You don't know if they're effective in your area for your climate and what have you. But people that have bought good seeds from places, they sit there and they use them, and they might get X amount of production out of them, but the next year it gets better. And it's like the seeds, the plants adapt, and so do the seeds. And then by year 3, you're getting pretty good production. Does that kind of sound right, Sam?
And your soil builds up too. Like all our soil here is fresh. Like, yeah, we have compost from Big Earth, but like, I don't know how composted it is,
Yeah.
So over time, your soil is also improving, which then improves your yield and everything too.
Yeah.
Now
What we did too is like we have a lot of raised beds. So some of the boxes are black cow soil, and some of them are the ones from Big Earth, and some of them are the compost that we use. And we kind of like look at the growth between each and see, oh, okay, this looks good. Or Melissa's way better about that stuff, seeing if they need nitrogen and stuff like that. So yeah, you just got to kind of play around with it. And as far as the seeds go, I just, like I said, this is not completely my field, but we get seeds from Baker Creek. If they're more than a year old, it gets kind of tough to get them going. If you're not, I guess we're going to try these frozen ones that we froze, right? So, yeah, if you try to find seeds, find some heirloom seeds, try to plant them, and then try to harvest your seeds out of the fruit that you get or the produce that you get and reuse them. That's the key. Some of the ones that you find on Amazon and stuff like that, you might get a plant, but they won't be able to reproduce the next year. So heirloom seeds are very important.
Well, what I think is great about trying to harvest as many of the seeds as you can. One, obviously for your own stores for the future, but those are great like starter pack gifts for people and for bartering. Sam and Cindy are really, big advocates for bartering and helping people out. Just like, Brendan and Derek. You've met Derek, right, Jordan?
Yes.
Yeah. So those guys are helping each other out with sheep, and one has a ram, the other one has sheep. So they're kind of doing something similar to what like Joe Fox and Bear, TJ from Bear Independent. They give like little starter packs to people in their tribe.
Brendan helped me out a lot too. He gave me the first purple sweet potato to try a couple of the slips, and now it's running rampant all over the place. We've got 10 pounds of it drying out over there. We made purple sweet potato pie last Thanksgiving, and then I just handed out some to some friends of ours. He's given us some sugarcane pieces that are starting to sprout up too. So Brendan's been a really good help. I really do appreciate that. So and we try to do the same when we can for other people.
Yeah, we try to foster as much of that as possible. But I hadn't seen as much of that type of stuff by someone until we met Sam and Cindy. I mean, they do it at a very high volume, I guess, high level with people and stuff. So it's great. Every bit that people can do is great, and I mean, it's kind of fun,
Yeah, I like bartering.
Yeah. I think it helps build community and camaraderie and relationships between people. Sam, what do you think is probably the most popular bartering that you guys have experienced amongst people? What catches people's attention in their...
Well, at the Homestead, Cindy makes a lot of things, tinctures and different things that are very popular with people. But we also, have our seed exchanges, and a lot of people don't think about it, but bartering can be skills and work. I mean, you can have somebody do some work for you and you hand them up some eggs. Just about everybody that comes to the house, say the cable guy comes to the house, we'll talk to him about what we're doing and try to bring him and his family into the fold, and we'll give him a carton of eggs to take with him from the homestead, kimchi.
Yeah.
How did I miss that? Yes.
We're gonna have to put a mic in your ear, Sam, or Cindy's gonna go crazy over there.
Where's my headset? Yeah. Tell me what I need to be saying here. So yeah. Kimchi, her kimchi is world renowned. People come to the house and they got to have. In fact, we had a little mini workshop to show some people how to make the kimchi.
That'd be fun, huh?
I think I'm off point. What was the question?
I was asking you what was like, because we're talking about bartering.
Okay.
And
Well,
since you and Cindy do so much bartering, I was wondering what's really popular with people. And let me preface this with, in the preparedness space, when they talk about bartering, what people tend to do is like, oh, I'm going to stock up on liquor and cigarettes and all these like social ills kind of things, and think they're going to stockpile that stuff, and then they can barter with people for, for eggs and ammo or whatever they're thinking they're going to do. Um, I try not to base decisions or advice to people on what may or may not be useful or helpful or is going to happen in some kind of this, SHTF. We try to do it, build community now, interact now, build the relationships now. We do have times where people can sit there and just help each other and go, thing called like a permablitz, right? Did I say it right? Permablitz?
yeah,
So,
I'm going to have one Saturday.
yeah, so a permablitz is something where you go to someone's property and you help them set up their raised beds or clear out their garden or build a shed or whatever, put up their food forest. And you bring a group of people to go. So it's not like this overwhelming, task for like one or two people. You guys have a homestead. There's a honeydew list probably this long every day. It seems like it never ends. And so,
And none of us are an expert on everything.
right.
So it's great to have community and to know who can help do what and who's an expert in what. But so much of what we do is just fun. I mean,
Yeah.
with Permablitz, I look forward to it. It's going to be a blast. I just love to descend on a property with a bunch of people. You leave and there's a garden there left behind when we're done. I mean, that's you can't beat that. It's fun.
Well, Jordan, was there ever a project at your new property that you brought in some people like friends or family to help you get it done? Because it just would take, give us a good example of one.
I can tell you about the best example, and it actually looks the prettiest to me as far as it's on our property. So we have a creek that runs through the middle of our property. And the hurricane, I can't remember which one. Was it Milton? Milton, or yeah, I guess it was Milton. Milton, blew that bridge that was there. There was a small little bridge there to cross over it. Blew it, destroyed it, and tree fell through our new house that we were building. All that fun stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, so
it's the best time to have a tree fall on your house, though.
Yeah, because it was still being built, so we literally got to fix it.
There wasn't even drywall yet, so
yeah,
it was all good. It was okay.
Yeah, but that bridge was taken out, and we had to get across. So a bunch of us, a friend from my church, and a lot of the fathers and father-in-laws and all that, we all got together and built a new bridge. We built it. It's like a 32-foot bridge. It spans all the way across. It's about 3 foot higher in the air, so it won't get washed away. It was just really cool doing it too. Like designing it and figuring it out. We got the concrete post 4x4 setting in here, and then getting into the creek bed. We got pressure treated 4x4s, and we use. And I never knew about this, but Mike, which is my brother's in-law, his dad. Mentioned, what you do is you can put a water source with a spigot, like pressurized water with PVC, and push water underneath it. And what will happen is that post will sink into the silt over time, as long as you keep going and going and going. And this is how they set those big posts. You ever wonder how they set those like pillars and stuff in the Skyway Bridge and all that kind of stuff?
Uh-huh.
There's no like concrete underwater or anything. It's literally just its own weight moving into the bottom, going down and down, and it's using water pressure to just sink it. And yeah, it was really, really cool to build. It took us about a weekend. There was 6 or 7 of us, and
most of it, then you finished it.
I ended up finishing some of the slats and the handrail and the edges and stuff. But now it's big. It's strong enough to drive the John Deere over.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's behind us, but it's dark.
Yeah.
So, I'd love to, once we hopefully get a little more established, I'd love to have people over from our group and stuff, just, have dinner and go over, a training or whatever, and then y'all can check it out. But that's definitely one of my favorite things about here. It's I do have to restain it. I want to restain it and make it look really, really beautiful because it's kind of like a work of art. That stuff has always been really interesting to me. I do like the project, and that was really impactful. So, and then obviously, really my dad's been kind of helping me with a lot of stuff around just outside. We still have a lot to do. There's still a bunch of trees and stuff down. I've got all of next year just clearing trees and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure him and I will get the chainsaw and just go at it bit by bit, So, but
that is so cool. Yeah. That's such a great project.
Oh yeah,
was able to happen.
Oh yeah. So.
All right. So before I move on to my next set of questions, Sam, you got any other questions or comments?
Yeah. What new skill would you like to learn?
What new skill?
Yeah.
I will tell you that from a prepper aspect, I want to get more into communications. It's really tough with my schedule right now, but radios and stuff. I really want to get into that. So maybe even getting my my ham maybe not the ham. I think you were saying that the ham license is like really way more. You just probably get there's like a middle one. I forgot what it's called.
GMRS. It's going to be easier to get.
GMRS, you can just pay the fee and sign up for it. And then if you get into the they call it ham, but the amateur radio, you have the lowest one is a tech, and then the middle one is a general.
Okay.
So the general lets you get on to HF, where tech will let you get on UHF and VHF, and GMRS, you just you pay for the license and grab a couple of handhelds, and you can program a lot of them. Actually, if you buy GMRS radios, the frequencies are already built in, and it doesn't let you program them. Well, I buy radios that you can put both on. Even though you're not supposed to, but you can. The thing is, I want to be able to program them in so I can at least listen on those.
Right.
Oh
yeah, that's one of the things too. I just want to learn about, because I don't know anything about comms or radios or anything like that. So what would let me listen to within a 10-mile radius or something, or what that kind of stuff would interest me too. So that's one of my goals for 2026. From a prepper aspect, this year was pretty much focused on animals.
Yeah,
keeping it alive. We're going to be doing rabbits here probably in the next month, so we'll be doing rabbits along with chickens. So my goal this year was basically animals or chickens, and next year will be communications. So
very cool.
And it was really stinks because I missed all the comm stuff this year that you were doing. I was like, man, I really need to go. So hopefully there'll be some opportunities.
Comms is a tough nut to crack, for a variety of reasons. But we keep taking jabs at it to get people interconnected. There's a lot of infrastructure out there in the community. So we're trying to layer that stuff together. But, there's always so many different activities going on. And, myself and Pablo, we're trying to drive that with the comms project. But I'll get with you offline about that as well. And, get you up to speed if we can, sometime in December, January or something. So lots of room for growth there.
Yeah, I feel like comms is probably that one that might get missed in the glamour of prepping. I feel like security, arms, and stuff is probably geared more toward the men, and maybe the ladies would like more of the gardening and tinctures and stuff. And so maybe comms kind of misses. I'm also into like I said, I like to try to find the gaps that maybe people won't have. So comms is good. I'm always big into water purification because you die without water in 3 days. So that seemed the most pertinent to me. But even things like sanitation. I think I went to the Polk County Prepper meeting over there, and I gave a little thing on sanitation because that's something that nobody's really going to think about it, but that's probably going to kill you the fastest.
More people that die from dysentery and lack of water. Which kind of segues to the next set of questions. So, what was your plan what motivated you to do the homestead, and how did your progression play out? Like, what did you do first, second, third? Whether it came to setting up the homestead, the animals. Did you do gardens first, or chickens first?
The first thing that we did.
What was our motivation first?
Our motivation was just to be more self-sufficient at that point. Again, while we do share like a similar like interest, the motivations are different. Like I think hers is probably more of the I don't know, maybe you just like it. I'm not even sure.
I do like it, but I want control over my food and like where it comes from.
Yeah.
I'm more concerned with like where is my food coming from.
Yeah.
He's more concerned of will we have food?
Yes. So
I mean, it's kind of a similar motivation.
It's about 80. It's
slightly
like
different angle.
Like 70% of it is like for me, will we have food? And then 30% of it is where's my food come from? And it's starting to slowly equalize for me. And then maybe the opposite for her. So
well, they complement each other, which is great. And for two reasons. One, so it helped you guys fuse your interests together and make it move forward. But also I think it hinders the non-productive side of putting food back, where people are buying too much cans of Chef Boyardee and Vienna sausages and stuff like that. And where someone is like, you're worried about making sure you have enough food. Well, people buy all the cheap shelf-stable food, which you normally don't eat, you don't really like, but but I got food and it didn't cost. I get a lot for a little. So I think it's better that you guys complement each other on that, because you're like, well, this food is better. We're eating this and we're growing it. So why don't we just kind of shift our energy over here and kill two birds at one stone?
Because I will never buy Chef Boyardee willingly.
Yeah.
Look, I will, but there's another. So everything, I believe everything has its place. So yeah, sure, Chef Boyardee is not the best, but in the first 90 days, you're going to be eating a lot of it, because you're not going to be outside in the first 90 days. Well, okay, I'm just saying the first 90 days you're not going to be outside, so you're going to have to rely on that stash. But one of the motivating things for the homestead that I thought was, okay, we survived the first 90 days or first year, whatever your goal is. Mine's 90 days currently. The first 90 days, and I think is going to be the most tumultuous of any kind of crazy STHF situation. But after that, what happens next? Like your food will run out. If you've got 10 years of food, that's great, but it still will run out. And if you don't know how to make food or get food, you're going to die. It's that simple. So you need some kind of skill to, keep yourself sustaining. You have to have it. It's great that you have 5, 10, 15 years of food, but I just had kids. Are they going to have food in 50 years? Are they going to have the skills to get food in 50 years? Are we going to be able to, if there's like even a restart society situation, are they going to be able to do that? You need the skills to do that. You need to be able to grow things. You need to be able to raise livestock and you need to be able to do that kind of stuff. And we just don't do it because food is so convenient. There's a McDonald's on every corner and you can get food in an instant, and you just are so disconnected with your food that you don't realize what it takes to get that food. And that was like, I love thinking way far ahead. Do I've got enough food for a year without going? Sure. But what about in 2 years? And then what happens next? What happens when I need something comes about and there's like an illness that I didn't foresee and I need a certain compound? Like, how am I going to get that? Like, did I prep that? Is it going to be stable? Like, that kind of stuff is what I think about. So I was very big on skills from the start, because I don't have any. And so I'm like, I need to get some, and I need to get some fast. So my prepping journey at the beginning, I kind of went a little like, oh, I need to do this now. Like, we need to get going now. And I'm sure she was overwhelmed by it. But I was like, I don't have a base. I don't have anything. I'm just going to start. And I made mistakes. I got some stuff that's like, oh, this is cheap this gear doesn't work, and I've tested this out. Oh, look at that, it already brought. I've done that. I think everybody's done that, where they've bought cool gear that they think that they need, and it turns out not to be the best, and that's great. But if you don't have any skills, if you don't train, if you don't do the things that you're supposed to do every day to like keep those skills sharp and to keep those skills going, it doesn't matter how much food you buy. You could buy 10 years of food. You'll be dead in 10 years in a day. So
yeah,
my thing is I'll focus heavily more on the skills right now, and then maybe put 10 or 20% of my efforts into stockpiling back. Because once I have the skills, not only do I have the ability to keep myself going, I'm also valuable to another community.
yes.
And if I'm valuable to another community, they'll probably be more likely to help take care of me and help me as well. If you have skills and you have something to offer, then it's way better to work with than, no offense, than somebody that doesn't have those skills. So very important to learn any kind of minimal skill, even if it's just I know how to keep these plants alive, or I know how to purify water. I mean, that's if you know how to purify water, you're probably better than 30% of the people out there that are going to enter an STHF situation and just be running around. And they're like, I don't know what to do, and they're going to drink some bad water and get this and you're done. And I was just like, man, I can't afford to not have that. I need to know things, and I love information, and so I'll collect skills first, and then you collect cans.
So that's where we started with skills, because we started even before we moved here, he had started with our water purifying.
Yep.
And then I had a garden in earth boxes. I love earth boxes. If you don't know what they are, they're like a self-contained watering pot, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of different kind of ones on the market. The earth box is probably one of the first ones out there. But I had an earth box garden we were renting a house. So I had it there. And then right before we moved here, I had already started the seeds for the garden. So those were started. And so literally like the week after we moved in here, he was building raised beds. So plants do need to go in the ground soon.
We wanted to get a season in because, in Florida, the seasons are like March through May or February through May, and then like maybe now. Those are the seasons,
now, I mean,
there are things you can grow.
August through May, but it's different stuff in that.
Yeah, you can grow things in the summer too, but that's another fact that people don't know. You sweet potatoes, Malabar spinach, and okra, basically.
So he got the gardens in, and then the bridge, because we couldn't do anything with the chickens until the bridge was redone.
Yeah, we couldn't access the back half of our property.
Yeah.
So we built that. Then I got the beds going, and then I went on the chicken coop. It's this massive, giant chicken fortress. Yeah. They're not free range. I would love for them to be free range. Property is laid out a little different to where we can't. Mm-hmm. So, but the pen's really big. It's like 4 times the size of what they need. I built the coop, 3 feet off the ground, so the coop kind of floats. So if there was a hurricane or a flood, they're not going to drown. They can go under the coop for more shade in the summertime. There's a lot of trees back there. This thing, I built this all by myself.
Yeah, it's hardware cloth in the run, and it's buried underground because we heard there was a bunch of predators.
It's buried underground 2 feet. There's 2 feet that goes all the way underground, and then on top as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it is a fortress.
Yep, because that's my food. So, I mean, I would say we started with the bridge, the boxes, then the coop, and now we're just kind of getting more into a rhythm of just more planting. Like I said, it's season, so we're doing the starters and the season and the harvesting. Like we're doing more of that stuff.
I'm doing a lot of succession planting right now. So I've got some stuff out on the porch that's going to go into the beds here in this week-ish. And then today I just planted more seeds that started in the garage. So so that way they stagger. A continual cycle. Even if we don't preserve a lot of produce this year, which I don't know if we will. I mean, another goal is to supplement a lot of that fresh produce that we're using.
So you're able to utilize what production you have, and hopefully next season you'll be able to get more.
Always, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a bunch of tomatoes in the freezer. I'm waiting for a good amount of tomatoes
Mhm.
to can something. I haven't decided yet whether it's sauce or I don't know, some sort of sauce, obviously, because they're frozen. But that is something you can do, is you can freeze if you don't have a large batch. At least that works for tomatoes. You can freeze them, and then you can use them when you have enough to make a good sized batch. So I have like last season's tomatoes in my freezer, and then hoping for some more. We'll see. The plants are growing. That's all I can tell you.
Well, you guys sound like you've done some pretty incredible things at the property in a very short period of time. And the fact that you guys did a lot of skill building prior to, I think was a very smart way to go about it. I wish more people did that. They'd probably have a lot more success sooner and might stick with it longer than, because some people, they go on the journey and they just stop. And because I think a lot of people have the fantasy of having a homestead without really understanding the reality of it. And they're trying to have a regular job and kids and doing this and that, where it's like, if you are both working in jobs and you go off property, it's more challenging to sit there and be able to get progression on your property. Where I noticed a lot of successful homesteads where people either worked from home, at least one of the people that were doing it, so they had flex in their schedule to go feed animals, tend to the plants, or whatever the case may be. Then also homeschooling. So then again, it gives them flex during the day to be able to do things, with the children and handle the chores of the house. And if they have a work from home job or business or whatever the case may be. But it's like if basically just if the mom has to go outside to work, it's probably going to be a hard sell on making it work. And if then you got to worry about dropping the kids to daycare, picking them up for daycare. So I think it tends to be easier with younger kids. Some people might not think the case, and I have no experience, but I mean, if you're going to homeschool, you're probably going to do it in the early years. And if you're going to work from home when you have young kids, obviously you're going to do it in the early years of whatever you're doing. So you kind of can make that, work out. What's your guys' experience that you share about that kind of stuff? Has that factored into anything?
Absolutely. I mean,
Sure, yeah.
she's doing the homeschooling now, so.
I mean, I'm not.
Okay.
I stayed at home. I stay at home now. So,
Okay.
but yeah, when I was working full time, I mean, I would garden on the weekend, but then he was the one making sure it survived during the week because I would, leave when it was dark and come back when it was dark, especially during this time of year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which was awful. I hate that the dark of winter, but the weather's nice otherwise. But yeah, so now but I mean, he works from home and I'm home, so we're all home all the time, and we're also homeschooling. So there is a lot of home.
So it's opens up flexibility. It's a definite positive. It's a negative too, because everything all bleeds together in a day.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people get to go to work, separate, and then come home and separate.
Yeah.
I don't really get that. It's all, sometimes I'll be doing air conditioning quotes at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, but at 2 o'clock, sometimes I get to utilize outside because my techs are already out there working. I got them good. So I've got 2-3 hours. So I get to kind of manage my schedule, but it's always there. So it's always, you're always in it. So it does help. You get to do more, but it doesn't mean that if you work a conventional job that you can't do anything. You just have to do it on a smaller scale. And like I said, you don't have to go as full big with a homestead and all that stuff.
I've actually slowed him down too.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do it all at one time. Build layers.
It's also my personality. I like to get at it. So I like to get in there and just figure it out because I'm not an expert. Like I said, I've only been doing this since 2020. It's been 5 years, and it's crazy to think 5 years ago I was like just going to. I was working from an office at that time at a different job, just like, oh, normal, just whatever. And then now I'm here like cleaning chicken coops and growing stuff, and I'm like planting trees and cutting it. It's definitely a different experience, but
It's a lifestyle now.
Yeah, but it's been great. It's been really good, and I really recommend people get at least a taste of it and at least develop a skill set to do it. So, like I said, even if you have to do a normal work, a normal 9 to 5, come home and water your earth box and set out in the sun and just see how your tomatoes grow, or like grow a sourdough starter, and bake bread every week. It takes 45 minutes to bake the bread, and it's not that much time. But if you know how to bake bread and you know how to grow vegetables, those are two pretty good skills that a lot of people don't know how to do, and you can bring that to a situation when this shit hits the fan type scenario. So that's something I highly recommend.
Well, I think an advantage for people that connect with people in person like we do in the network, it provides a lot more learning opportunities to build your skill sets, because you can sit there and go on Facebook or whatever, or Googling recipes or watching YouTube videos to do your research and kind of make a plan. But until you get your hands in the dirt, and someone that say lives in an apartment, they don't have access. I mean, they could do some potted plants or something, but if you can connect with people that have a small property and you're friends with them, you can go and help them with their garden. And then, you develop a relationship and say, hey, you mind if I plant some stuff over here if I come and take care of it? Or you work it out, do a little co-location. And some places are like a land lab. I refer to Cindy's property and Sam that it's like a land lab. I mean, so many people from my network have gone over to Cindy's property, just like on their own. And whether it's to help out with a project or to teach them a skill, they get fed. Okay. Cindy's really good at providing great meals and stuff like that. And they barter, barter things. A thing I learned about bartering was, what's the word I used? It was social capital. Cindy is hosting an activity that is geared towards my daughters, and they're like in middle school, and it's a fun little activity where they're going to learn how to make bath bombs and different things little girls like to do. And I'd offer, hey, anything I need to bring or whatever, but Cindy wants to share the skills with the younger generation. Yep. So, it's a ministry in a sense for her. Okay. But also I'd shared some lingo with her from a bartering video I'd watched and social capital. So it's like she got a little chit in her book. So when she needs a favor from me, boom, I'm there. So bartering doesn't always have to be, tangible to tangible. It could be tangible for service or service to service. And it doesn't have to transact at that moment if you've taken the time to develop a relationship.
Right.
Okay. Sam and Cindy have brought out various plants and, things that Cindy's created, from stuff she's grown at her homestead. As part of the workshop, sometimes she gives things away. Sometimes they barter stuff. There was one thing, and I've mentioned this on the podcast so many times, and I'll keep mentioning it. There's a medicinal salve. Did I say that right, Sam?
Salve.
Yeah. So it's kind of like your herbal neosporin, kind of.
Yes.
And my daughter had fell off like a scooter or something a while back. And so she got a little bit of some scrape on her shoulder, and there you go.
Shameless plug.
Yeah. And she's like, "Hey, Dad, got any Neosporin?" I'm like, "Yeah, but here, why don't you try this?" And I just gave it to her, and she rubbed it in there, and she liked it so much better.
That's awesome. See, I'm gonna have to get some from you. So because I got a 5-year-old, he's always scraping something. So
Oh yeah. Well, definitely. We're gonna have you and Sam and Melissa and Cindy connect, and guys go over to visit their property. It's awesome. You can see so many different. It might be dangerous for you though, because you already have your ideas of what you want to do. You go over there, you're gonna add like 10 more projects.
that's fine. That's fine. That's great. That's great. That'd be great. I would love to. I would absolutely love to. So that's another thing too. Good night, Miles. Go ahead, say good night.
Good night.
Bedtime. All right. Yeah, that's another thing I would like to get into. The idea of a food forest as well. And like foraging too. I don't know anything about that. That's kind of impressive to me. Like knowing what I could eat in a situation where maybe I'm not here at my homestead, I'm out traveling or whatever, and something happens. I would love to be able to know that. So that's another skill too. But yeah, I would definitely love to come over and exchange ideas. And like I said, offering services and stuff for social capital. Like I've got a pretty strong back, so I can do a lot of work. I get decent amount of time.
So Cindy said, please consider yourself invited to come for lunch. Get with Sam after the show. And she said, bring Miles too.
Okay, we'll do. We'll bring Miles and Charlie. He's kind of he's sleeping right now, so he's pretty quiet. I think he's quieter than Miles. I can't tell sometimes. So he's 4 months. So we got a 4-month-old and a 5-year-old. So trying to build all this and with with brand new baby and a brand new house and still running a AC company, it's a lot.
Oh yeah.
So, but it's fun. It's great. If life were easy, it wouldn't be fun, right?
Oh, yeah. So let's take a few moments to talk about future projects, that you got on the drawing board. I think you mentioned rabbits. Is there anything special you want to do with rabbits or certain breed?
So what I've studied is I've got a friend of mine. He does kind of similar things. He's got a pig farm out in Waimama, but he sent me a guy that deals with rabbits, breeding rabbits. We're just going to breed meat rabbits, another meat source. So that's we're going to do that, and we're going to do meat rabbits. We're doing meat chickens as well. I got to do a movable tractor. I'm going to build a movable, one of those movable chicken tractors. Mm-hmm. Those are going to be for the meat birds in the springs. And I have some other friends of ours that live probably 10, 15 minutes from here. They have a homestead as well. They've got pigs and everything too. So he was the one that actually showed me, this is how you butcher chickens, because I didn't know anything about processing chickens. And he said, does anybody want to come learn? And I was like, sure, I'll go do it. And so we butchered 25 chickens, and I'm hands in the chickens my first day learning how to do it. And now I know how to do it, and now I know how to process. So, in fact, I'm going to go help them here in a month or two. So, like I said, I love being hands-on. Just to learn the skill is enough for me to consider it a good trade. So, project-wise, chicken tractor. I'm going to try to build that. It's movable on wheels, the one where you move it and shift it so the birds can mess this area up and poop on it and fertilize it. That's one project. Most of it is just clearing a lot of the down trees and stuff. Let's see, project-wise, rabbits. I'll probably end up building a pen in the back, and I don't know what I'm putting in there yet, whether it's pigs, goats, sheep. Not sure yet, but most of the projects that I have is just clearing stuff for space, and then maybe getting this chicken tractor going because the birds will be here in the spring. We've already ordered 25 chicks, so they'll be here in the spring, and then we'll freeze 25 meat birds after we raise them. Project-wise. I guess that's one of the fortunate things about having a brand new house is that there's not really a lot of house things to fix because it's pretty new. So that's good. We are going to do a front porch. So that is one of my projects that I would definitely love some help with. We're going to build the front porch. We poured it out, but The contractor, the GC wanted a bunch more money, and I was like, oh, I'm not doing that. I'll do it myself. So I'm gonna build a front porch and screen it in, and I want to get that done before summer. So I just haven't figured out if I want to do a metal screen or a wood screen, like a metal porch or a wood porch. So all those, as a matter of fact, we're going to have a little homestead meeting here probably the next week or so and kind of go over our goals for 2026 and see where we want to be. But those are probably the most immediate things that I can think of is chicken tractor, pen in the backyard for some kind of animal, and that front porch. So
those are awesome. I was thinking about, water is such an important part of a property. And, most rural properties have a well. So I'm guessing you guys have a well too, but you also have a creek in your house, near your house. So is it kind of close to your house? And did it create a danger during Milton?
It's not a very big creek. It only is about 6 inches to a foot deep most of the year. Even when it flooded, it didn't have any chance of hitting the house. It didn't even go over the bank. So, but what happened was, I think that this creek is part of some kind of emergency release where some flooded area flooded and washed that bridge out. So I think that's what happened. And I need to test this because one of my issues, again, like I said, with water, I want to be so prepared with water that I plan on, basically doing water tests on that creek and running it to the Berkey and drinking it. I'm gonna do it. And if I'm gonna get sick, I'm gonna get sick now and try it out. Like that's what I mean by like really testing my skills. So, purifying it, boiling, all that kind of fun stuff. But I want to go through all that now. We do have a well. We actually have 2 wells. Funny story. The old well we didn't use, and it was in our contract to build a new well. So they built a new well. It's 240 feet underground. So we technically have 2 wells. I just have to go get that pump fixed, and get it going. I'll just use that pump for irrigation. But we technically have 2 wells in addition to my dad's well, and then in addition to this creek. So there's a crazy amount of redundancy for water here. Granted, we're going to put that well in a generator. But one of the projects I do want to do, maybe in a couple of years, because you can never have enough water, is I want to do a hand pump well in the back half because there's no water access to the back half of the property. And even by where the chickens are, I would like to, try to drive a well down to get some kind of, even if it's crude water, to set up some kind of water sanitation back there. And I was watching videos on how to do that, with like lead pipe or metal pipe or whatever. And I would like to try it.
Yeah, Brendan did one of his property.
So
pick his brain about that. Okay. And he was doing it so he could feed his animals. So
same kind of thing here. Right now I'm running like 200 foot of hose back there.
Yeah.
I built right now. There's only chickens back there, so I have a 55-gallon drum sitting up in the air on the coop, and then I have a PVC pipe system feeding a bunch of buckets with water cups. So basically, I only have to fill their water once every month or so.
Oh, okay, not too bad.
So I don't have to like haul buckets. I was tired of hauling buckets back there, so I figured I would just try to figure out a way to give them a large amount of water at once that just trickles into the system. So to take videos of it, it's not the best system, but it works out. But yeah, that's going to be on my agenda is to put a hand crank well in the future. I'd like to learn how to do it too. Like I said, all these things I keep saying, I've never done them before, and so I'll have to figure it out. But I've figured out everything so far. So
that's part of the journey. Yeah. So now that Melissa's back, so Melissa, what's on deck for you that you'd like to get done? Because these are all like guy projects he's talking about.
Well, aside from raising children, takes up the majority of my time.
I'd like to build a robot nanny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Smart houses scarred me. Disney Channel movie of the 90s. Yeah. But I guess I'm working on my food preservation skills. So, it's just kind of refining that, trying new new things, seeing what works, what doesn't, what do I want to preserve, what could I live without.
Yeah.
I think is kind of where I'm headed.
Yeah,
I think
Cindy's
Oh
pretty.
yeah. The herbal stuff. Yeah.
we bought a
Like
course on it,
herbal,
so
like getting into more of the natural herbal medicines. How much garlic how much can we cure with garlic? That kind of thing.
apparently a lot. So I'm
Apparently
sure,
a lot, yeah.
I bet you Melissa
Yeah.
would love to talk to Cindy about it, because
Oh,
I'll tell
yeah.
you what,
Yeah.
I stopped taking like any kind of like Dayquil or NyQuil for colds and stuff. I just drink the fire water on there, and it does great.
Yeah.
So what is it? Garlic and cayenne pepper. Oh man,
peppers and apple
it's
cider
it's
vinegar.
it's the worst thing you put in your mouth, man. But
Nasty.
woo, it clears you out. So I like it. I like it a lot. Elderberry syrup too. So yeah, big it. What tinctures? You think probably?
Yeah, some of those herbal remedy type things that we could go to first before. I mean, I recently, we have a 4-month-old. I'm breastfeeding, so I had like a sinus infection cold situation happening, and I can't really take any. I can't take a decongestant. You can't take those when breastfeeding; it will dry you up. But I just did a lot of neti potting and cleared that right out. It's not the most pleasant, but it does work. And I honestly think it kind of worked faster than if I had tried to take a decongestant. So
Yeah, I brought up a couple times to like Cindy at some of these events about the difference between the herbal stuff and the commercial stuff. And kind of the gist is the commercial, it comes down to the concentration of whatever particular ingredient. Because it's easy for us to say, well, I want an all natural remedy, which is great. I mean, my first initial understanding was, well, it'll just take longer versus the commercial because of the concentrations. But then you do the herbal stuff, depending on what the concentration is of whatever ingredient impacts what it's going to do and how long and what have you. Cindy has a great, phenomenal understanding of that stuff. You guys will love chit-chatting, and she's so gracious and helpful to do things, and you guys would be great. Soon as you guys can go over there, man, just go over there. You're just gonna be very happy to do so.
And see, that's important too, man, because like I said, you can stockpile a couple bottles of Dayquil and NyQuil, but if it's 2038 or whatever, and your kids are 22 now, all the Dayquil's gone. So what are you gonna do? If you know how to grow certain stuff, you can make your own stuff to get you through it. That's another skill.
Yeah.
Very, very almost invaluable skill, man. So yeah.
All right, Sam, you got any questions or comments?
No, I think we covered everything. I got a couple things we can go over after we're done.
Okay.
Because I know that they talked about rabbits, and I believe Megan is out their way. Isn't she out that direction?
Let's see. Yeah, kinda. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
She's got rabbits.
Yeah, Megan is one of our panelists that we had on the most recent ladies' night. I started a new series of episodes with an all ladies podcast. I mean panel instead of the usual bro show. So that was pretty cool. And Megan was on the last one that we did.
Does she have ducks? I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Or geese. Okay. Geese. Yeah. Well, Cindy has geese too. Yeah, but I think she has ducks. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but she was great, full of knowledge. And you've probably met her because you've been to the Polk County thing.
Yes.
And she was hanging out at those events.
Yeah, she gave me some eggs. That was really appreciated. They were great. So I'll have to bring her some chicken eggs to return the favor. She wants them. So yeah. That's good. Okay.
Yeah. So. All right. And let's see. Cindy's got something else to say. Let's see what it is. I have an elderberry tree waiting for you here.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's so cool. Do they do well down here? That's great.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Okay.
I used to think they were weeds when I was a kid.
Really?
I mean, I've never seen it.
Okay. Well, let's check that
Yeah,
out.
they grow. You can grow them here.
That's so cool.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
very cool.
Also,
Yeah.
Cindy breeds chickens if you want more chickens.
Yeah, we've got 14 right now, and then we're getting another 6 layers next year. Long story short, my mom got into chickens too up in Tennessee, so now she's getting some weird German variety that lays green eggs or blue eggs or something. I don't know. And so she's like, I already got them ordered from the hatchery. Like, okay, all right. So now I got to figure out how to get these chicks down here and introduce them into the flock and all kind of crazy stuff. Yeah, she's big into it now. So our family's gone chicken crazy lately. So,
yeah. All right. And yeah, once you guys go visit Cindy's, you're gonna walk away with all kinds of goodies. So it'll be a great experience for you guys.
well, we'll bring what we got so far. We got a little bit. So,
yeah. All right. So let's see. Let's round this out. We've gone an hour and 35 minutes. This is great. So Sam, we'll go with you first. You got any final comments or questions or anything?
It was great to meet y'all, and I want to meet y'all soon in person, and I want to see y'all's place over there in Plant City.
oh yeah, you guys are welcome anytime. Except Thanksgiving, I think we're busy. Yeah, I mean, we're like I said, we've got a pretty flexible schedule. So if you're open during the week too, that's not a problem either, because we're all pretty much here. I mean, I might be in and out because I'll be getting work calls and stuff, but during the week, during the weekend, that's great. Yeah, it was great to meet it was great to meet you too. Obviously, Dominic. So it was definitely great. Thank you guys so much for having us, and yeah, we definitely can't wait to just keep going with the prepper journey. I'd like to say, again, really encourage, especially the younger people, like in my generation and younger. You got to try it. Just give it a shot. Like, give it a shot for a year. Start making some bread. You'll just see how you feel about it, and it'll put some control back in your own life, and you'll feel a little better for it. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. I wanted to thank everyone for joining us tonight. This was a great episode. I'm so glad we did it. Hey, how about you give us some of your socials here that people can come check you out?
Sure.
On Instagram, we are Florida Homestead. Because the other one was already taken. And then we also have a Facebook page too, the Florida Homestead. We have a YouTube that doesn't have. I might have a couple shorts, but that's it. So, but those are the socials we have.
We'll get some videos on there. I'm really big about that, so I got to start putting some instructional stuff, just for like super basic stuff, because I know the internet's filled with a bunch of stuff to get lost in, and we're just like, here, start this, do that. People like that. So, but yeah.
The basics, Facebook and Instagram for the most part. Mm-hmm.
Very cool. And if you guys can't find it, or you forget, if you notice in the little ticker, I put my email address for the show, 2guysmakingtribe@gmail.com. You could always pop a comment in, and in whatever way, I'll get you in touch with these guys. Be no problem. But I think it's a great episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share the podcast with people that you think might like it. I think it's a great opportunity for you to make connections. It helps us build our subscriber base. We do this for fun and, just to help people in the community interconnect. But we want to broaden our audience, especially to the younger generations, and, because they're important too. And we want to see them get into the space and thrive, and interact. All right. Everyone have a great week. Look forward to seeing you guys at the next episode. You guys have a great night.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Bye,
y'all.